Alright, boys and girls, we are going for 3 in a row here from Nomad. Does not want to let this go at this point. Let me check the bounty here. So Jimin's up to a $9 bounty. Nomad's had to pay $10 for these 2 challenges. So now if he wins, he loses $1 in the long run. So, you know, the cost isn't really adding up too much yet. It does start adding up over time. And I will say also, because Jimin has defended twice now, he has the option to decline Nomad additional challenges if he wants to, but he accepts Nomad's 3rd challenge. Nomad feels like he can win against Jimin, and I absolutely think he can. I mean, last game was just, he did kind of a poor job protecting his Templar, and there was no Dark Archon for the Maelstrom, no Corsair, anything like that. So losing all of his High Templar and just not having those Storms against Jimin is, yeah, it's just, you can't fight Zerg without Storm, especially at that stage of the game. And Jimin also was macroing quite well, to be honest with you, so. Excuse me. Once again, we are going to get that cross spawn. So all 3 games going to be cross spawn for our players here, which is kind of surprising. And Forge coming down here from Nomad. And this time it looked like this was overpull with gas. So going to be something a little bit different here from Jimin again. He's just kind of mixing up his builds each game. We are going to get that earlier scout from Nomad, and I'm curious to see what Jimin's thinking of this. Is it going to be some sort of like... He does do Ling All-In builds as well, but I don't think this is how he normally does the Ling All-In. I haven't really seen his Ling All-In very often, to be honest with you. But Nomad gonna get in here and see this, and yeah, I'm curious to see, are we gonna get that speed first, or are we gonna get some a really fast lair? But it looks like it's gonna be 6 Lings in speed. Yeah, so it is gonna be 6 Lings in speed, so it's gonna be a lot of Ling aggression here. And it's gonna be double cannon from Nomad before Nexus. Maybe thinking this is a 9 pull, but it's actually over pull, so... But it is going to be with that Ling speed, so the double cannon, I think, is going to pay off for him in the long run. Even getting that pylon block to delay this hatchery just a little bit. As long as it gets the cancel on that, then I'm going to like that for him quite a bit. And we do get that cancel. So it delays that hatchery quite a bit. Ling's going to fan out now and kind of look around for where Nomad is. And yeah, I feel like this opening has to be pretty good for Nomad. I mean, this really fast Ling speed with overpull and 6 Lings. Gonna get no damage. I mean, it does delay Nomad's Nexus quite a bit. Ling does actually go a little bit too far and gets picked off by the cannons, so that's a small victory there for Nomad as well. But I feel like Jimin's economy can't be great right now. And Nomad also gonna spot that lair morphing right now. But Jimin has a couple builds that I've seen him do, so this looks like it's gonna be fast Muto. But it could be drop. I've seen him do these kind of fake Hydras, or like fake Mutas into actual Hydras. Yeah, so it is going to be the Hydra Den, so I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see this drop play from Jimin, and I've seen this work against some really high-level players in the past. This just seems like a very strong build, because you have to build your cannons in your main, but you also have to prep for the drop at the same time. And it's just hard. It's just really hard to have enough of everything you need to defend. I think instead of making a bunch of cannons, technically, you just want a lot of units. But again, you're worried about the mutas. So it's kind of hard to know that's what's coming, right? Because you're going to end up going into your Corsair. You're going to make your cannons because you're going to see Hydras. And then it's going to be a drop. So I think part of it is the Corsair need to catch the Overlords coming in. It's just hard. I haven't seen like really good defense against this build yet, to be honest with you, so it's hard for me to say exactly what you should do. I have some ideas of what could possibly be good. You know, like having your Corsair to block, maybe trying to make a bunch of Zealots instead. But you know, it could be Lurkers, right? Could be Lurker drop, could be Mutas. It's so hard to tell as Protoss. Does look like one more Ling went down, actually. Maybe went into the cannons a little bit. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be a Hydra drop or if it's going to be a quick Lurker drop from Jimin. Because we're on one gas, it looks to me like it's going to be just Hydras. And I don't think there's going to be any Lurkers with this. We are going to have a cannon coming down because we think that it's going to be Muto, which is understandable. Double Stargate, though. This is kind of worst case scenario for Nomad. I understand why he's thinking this, but I feel like this is not really recognizing, you know, the potential of what our opponent could be doing. And if he gets out there and sees these Hydras, but I don't think he's going to. This is part of why it's good to push out. Okay, he's going to see the Hydras here. Does he cancel the Stargate? Love to see a cancel here. Great from Nomad recognizing that. Kind of a mistake from Jimin for sure to show that, but I don't think he expected that this would be double Stargate. And so here's the hard part, right? So now he shows these Hydras because he's like, he wants you to make a bunch of cannons. That's the other reason he showed it. It's like, yes, we get to cancel that Stargate, but we want to make him make all these cannons because we're actually going to drop a bunch of units into the main while he's spending all this money on cannons. They're going to be useless. So Nomad's going to get into the main here. Does he realize what's coming when he sees this, that it's going to be that drop play, or is he going to think it's a Lurker contain? He should know, based on the drone count, that this is going to be drop. And I feel like the play is just make a lot of Zealots. He's actually continuing Corsair. He's going to make a second Corsair. I like this in this case. Because it would be very good against stopping the drop potentially. If you can kind of catch these Overlords before they get here. And I think with this placement, he recognizes this is a possibility. That this is what could be coming. Gotta be careful not to lose our Corsair. Additional Overlords coming up here. And when he sees the additional Overlords, is he going to recognize exactly what this is? We see extra cannons coming down, so he has identified this is going to be a drop play from Jimin. I think Nomad is about as well prepared as he could be. The only thing I'm concerned about is just how low that Zealot count is going to be for this. Going to make more cannons in the front. Not the biggest fan of that. I would love to see just more gateways, but I'm not sure if he has time. Yeah, the Lurkers are going to be, or sorry, the Hydras are going to be loaded up now. These Zealots need to get back and prepare to defend. It's going to be 12 Hydras initially. Actually, we're going to get another Overlord, so it's going to be 16 Hydras to start. We did get 3 Corsair, and we're making more to try and block these Overlords. Even though Zealot's going to be moving out here at the same time. And unfortunately, I think these Overlords are just going to get everything unloaded before any of them go down. Maybe stop like 1 or 2 Hydras there. And there's only going to be 2 cannons here. And I think the Nomad just isn't going to have enough to hold. He's going to be able to pick off a lot of these Overlords, so that's a really nice thing for him. If he could defend, then it's going well for him, but yeah, all these probes going to go down, and this is going to be a death. And I think this is just too many cannons, right? That's what I was saying. It's hard. It's hard to prepare for everything that it could be. And Jimin just is this kind of player. GG going to be called, and Jimin going to complete that triple defense of his crown here against Nomad. Alright, Nomad has not given up. I really thought after 3 in a row he'd let it go. But we're doing that 4 in a row. He might just spend all of his money tonight playing Jimin. He does also seem to really like Knockout for this matchup quite a bit, so we're going to get that Knockout all 4 games in a row as well. And just a quick update on kind of what our bounties are looking like. I'm thinking I might add this to the thumbnail in the future as well. I'll talk to Goosehead, the one that does all of my stuff for me, about maybe adding something for like the bounty or something like that as well to kind of add to the hype a little bit. But Jimin's up to an $11 bounty. So Nomad is playing for $11. Remember, again, it's $5 per challenge. If he wins, he gets his money back plus the bounty. So just kind of put the numbers out there. Nomad is currently at minus 15. And he's fighting for an $11 bounty now, so it's going to be negative no matter what. But at this point, he's playing more for pride, I believe, than anything else. And it looks like we're getting a 9 pull again here from Jimin. So going back to kind of the roots of the first game, it's going to be that 9 pool. And Nomad is going to be able to... was going to scout him last. There's a chance that he dies to the 9 pool. He might just go 13-13 and die to the 9 pool, guys. It's not impossible. He's only doing that single scout, which means that he's pylon scouting now, so that if he gets it on second scout, then he's fine. But if this is going to be a Nexus, then we're dead. Oh boy. This is an auto loss, unfortunately, for Nomad. Jimin's just got his number, guys. Oh man, you hate to see it for Nomad. I'm starting to feel kind of bad for him at this point. But here come the Lings. We're probably going to get a probe pool to try and survive and play it out from here, but it's so hard at this point. One Ling actually does chase the probes, so he does have that going for him. We're going to need to see that probe pool. And yeah, here come a few probes now. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to matter because the cannon's just so far away. Well, it might be able to actually finish. Gonna buy a few seconds here. One probe does go down immediately. Second probe goes down. Ling's gonna try... They thought about getting on that cannon, but actually gonna give up on that. And now I think they have access, yeah, to this Nexus. And this is just over, unfortunately, for Nomad. Gonna try and get this extra cannon. But I mean, he's just... We're not mining hardly at this point. It's layers on the way now for Jimin. And ooh, Nomad just can't seem to catch a break on these openers. I mean, the Lings aren't going to kill the Nexus at this point. The probes have to stay here, though, because they need a body block in case the probes, or sorry, the Lings try to run inside. The worst part is they can actually go up here once this cannon finishes. Oh no, he's actually going to drill the moment that Jimin started to run towards the main. Wow, what a game there from Jimin. Nomad looked to go for that drill. Player about to finish as well behind us, so I mean, you know, gas not even started for Nomad, so there's just really no getting around this. This is only a 9 pull, right? It's not like this is some, like, crazy all-in from Jimin either, so, you know, we're playing from such a big deficit. We lost a few pros. We haven't been mining our natural properly. We made 2 cannons. The Zilla gonna come out and fight, and Nomad does actually have pretty good control in small armies. Actually, just good control in general, I think. And one more probe even going to go down. The Zealot going to get jumped on. This probe going to take a lot of damage. Ling speed finishes as well. And, I mean, the Zealot's going to be able to clean this up, actually. Right? Okay, just barely. Which is a small victory for Nomad, I guess, but the Spire is on the way. And we haven't even started a Cyber Core yet, right? I mean, the only defense possible at this point would be if he went for blind cannons in his mineral lines. And maybe he does that. Honestly. Maybe he goes for it. You have to gamble at this point as Nomad. Excuse me. But it's Jimin, so he's probably going to think that it's cannons. Or sorry, that it's Hydras. So I expect we'll see Ford cannons instead. We're going to see that Stargate starting relatively soon, but the Spire is going to be done kind of as the Stargate starts. Which is terrible. Terrible for Protoss. I wouldn't even mind seeing him move out with some Zealots, just because you have to try to do something and get some information, and maybe put some pressure. You're so far behind after this opening, and Jimin did skip a lot. He saved all of his larvae for Muta, so we have 5 Mutas on the way. We are going to get that defensive cannon in our main. We're going to need it in our natural as well. Fortunately, probe count, you know, suffering quite a bit from this early game, and yeah, see, there's the Ford third cannon, because he's going to suspect Hydras. Again, would like to have seen that move out, because we just had to get some information. I know it's risky, because you'll most likely lose them to Lings, but you're just so far behind. You gotta take some sort of risk, and these mutas are actually going to come out, and this cannon hasn't started in their natural either. And they are going to go to the main first, so that'll buy us a little bit of time. We have this one cannon that's kind of like a little bit below. Okay, we did go for double Stargate, so we did gamble on that a little bit. So there is something that he was kind of going for a little bit of comeback here. Stargate, gonna start getting focused down by these mutas. But Corsair is gonna come out, and with this cannon should be able to kind of defend this space, but yeah, this is the part that I was worried about. He's just gonna go into the natural, and there's no cannon here, so a bunch of probes gonna go down. And unfortunately, Nomad just from another kind of bad opener here. Just nothing going his way in all of these games. 3 cannons in the main. And this is only a 5-meter commitment into the Hydra. This isn't like some crazy meter commitment either. And yeah, gonna get a bunch of these probe kills. And Nomad just having a bad day here against Jimin. Could potentially catch these mutas. I mean, we have 3 Sarah. We absolutely could have fought that. That was kind of a fake... kind of a fake flex there from Jimin. I think is that Nomad wasn't confident that there was going to be more mutas or Scourge joining, so he didn't want to chase it in that sense. So he might go up to like 5 or 6 Corsair and then move out. And when he does, he's going to get the bad news that Hydra production is going to be starting. And here are those Scourge from Jimin. And we're up to 5 Corsair. Yeah, we stopped at 5. And it's 5 without that +1, and with the mutas here. So a bunch of these are going to go down. 2 go down immediately. These mutas going to start trying to clean these up. Going to get a 3rd Corsair. Yeah, there's just not much to say, unfortunately, about this game. We're restarting Corsair now. I mean, we're rebuilding Corsair. And there's Hydras coming now. This is just the 5 meters. I mean, these 5 meters have gotten so much value. And yeah, now we're building more defensive cannons for the mutas, and just nothing going Nomad's way, guys. Drone count looking pretty nice, too, for Jimin. He's pretty much set up to start pumping a lot of Hydras. I guess he's not, like, super saturated, actually. I say pretty nice. It's kind of the bare minimum, to be honest. I mean, supply, somehow, is surprisingly even. I think it's going to explode for Jimin pretty soon. But I'm actually genuinely surprised that it's even as close as it is. Don't get me wrong, it's terrible for for Nomad right now. Even this DT gonna get spotted right away. Gonna get in here, but there's these 5 meters with these overlords gonna be able to spot this and clean this up, and maybe he gets like 1 drone, not even a single drone kill. Now you got a bunch of Corsair here coming out against a bunch of Hydras. Is at least going to be able to pick this Overlord off. Unfortunately, there's no DT. Okay, DT does pop as well. So he's going to be able to potentially catch these Overlords. If we're paying attention, he did see it, but he wasn't watching because this bust was happening at the same time. This DT going to have to do a lot of work. Looks like it's doing a lot of chasing and not a lot of attacking. So he does at least deflect this. Going to catch the Overlord that's coming as well. So nice catch from Nomad. Does end up picking that off. So these Corsair are getting a decent bit of value now at this point. Still, though, nothing going... Nothing... How would I word this? Nomad is very far behind. He is going to get into this space and find these mutas, actually. Although they're going to buy a pretty good bit of time here. Only 2 of the mutas going to go down. Might actually clean them all up. And then try to jump on the Overlords. But Jimin was very quick to get the Hydras up here. That was actually pretty crucial because there was potential that if those Overlords go down, and then the DT comes in there, it could be very, very annoying for Jimin. So that was a pretty important defense for Jimin, because that was a little bit of potential comeback there for Nomad. Might not have got very many drone kills in the long run, but stopping mining, getting 1 or 2 drones, killing a bunch of Overlords and a bunch of mutas would have been pretty good for Nomad. He does at least have some Sarah out, and he's cleared a lot of these mutas, so he doesn't have to worry about a lot of mutas picking off his Templar like he did in that first game. Evo Chamber also only just now starting for Nomad. Sorry, for Jimin. Is there potential for Nomad to win this game? It's not good, but dare I say it's not impossible. It might be impossible. Actually, this Evo was up here, so this is a second Evo. Lurkers have started now. And there's still no robo that's even begun. And Nomad's just been kind of stuck playing catch-up on economy as well quite a bit. The DT is going to scout around, see that there's no fourth base up here. We're actually making more and more Corsair. We're going up to 8 Corsair now at least. Still no +1, so just a ton of Corsair. We have 1 Zealot, 5 Templar, and a lot of Corsair. Yeah, we're starting to see that supply lead kind of balloon out here for Jimin. He's going to start to set up that contain. And again, there's still no Robo for Nomad. So it's going to be a long time before we can start to contest this contain. We'll see how much these Corsair can get done. They do have potential to actually clear a lot of these. If he's watching them, he can potentially get a fair amount of value here. Killing a bunch of Overlords can clear these Scourge. We're not looking. We just fly into them. So a couple there do go down. But still, gonna pick off more and more Overlords. A lot of Corsair, potentially a lot of Scourge have been started here for Jimin. And another Corsair gets picked off. We're down to just 4 now as we dive on top of this Overlord to allow this DT to get in. But more Overlords hatch the instant it gets in here. And as the last Overlords are picked off, does get 2 drones, so it's a little bit of something, but that was really expensive for Nomad, and it's not going to be enough. That Robo, not even done yet. We've got 4 Lurkers out here. We're going to start killing these cannons to try and allow our units to get through here. A lot easier. And doesn't quite find this Overlord in the top. Would have been just kind of a small victory. I mean, Jimin has a lot of room for supply here. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, breaking up this into this area is so hard for Protoss. Like I said in one of the previous games, it's great defensively, but it's also awful against this. It sort of gets into this position. Pretty nice Lurker spread here from Jimin. And yeah, he's going to try to value his way out of this. But, I mean, our main's already getting kind of close to dried up. We're down to less than a third of the resources. Yeah. Yeah, this is rough. We still don't even have our observers out, right? There is only 1 Muta. If we want to pretend like something's going okay for Nomad. Did finish that +1 armor before +1 attack. I think that's fine in this case, since he wasn't going to be fighting anytime soon, really. So it's kind of either or. Double storming the same Lurker. Not the biggest fan. We do... Oh no, we double stormed here. And a little bit of a stacking storm. Kind of a mistake there. Observer gets picked off, but another one instantly shows up. We did have the energy upgrade as well for this Templar, so it's actually kind of nice for Nomad. I mean, this is pretty good value from these storms. Actually, really good value on these storms so far, but there's just so much Zerg up here. Like, we're going to be doing this for a long time, and we don't have a long time. We don't have enough money to mine to do this for very long. And Jimin will just continue to rally units. I mean, he'll just rally units and replace Lurkers all day. And if at some point you try to come out here and you gotta fight up this whole swarm's gonna jump on top of you with all these Lurkers behind it, and it's rough. That's a good storm. Hit 2 of them there at once. Nice secondary storm as well. These are actually really nice storms from Nomad. I mean, I will give him that. He is getting as much value as you could hope for. And with that being done now, we're going to pull the trigger here. We have no additional storms left, so it's just going to be our army versus this, but it's still too many Lurkers, and there's so much army up here on this high ground. We're only +1 armor, not +1 attack, and yeah, with the reinforcing Zerg coming down here and us spotting up this ramp, we're going to get slaughtered. Nomad might be done finally. And Jimin finishes the 4-time defense here against Nomad.